Greetings and welcome everyone to my overview of the new third discipline for the Sentinel and Marauder class. For the Marauder it's called Fury, brand new name. For the Sentinel it's called Concentration, brand new name again. Most of the skills are the same as we already know. Let's begin with the important things. Again, I'll be using Delphi's calculator created by SWTOR Miner. I will be talking mostly with terms of the Marauder side, so Imperial version, but the skills are absolutely the same, they are mirrored. I will tell you the description of all the skills. I've compared them to the live streams, and they are all accurate, at least for today. The day I'm recording, I will be releasing this video before 3.0 launches, so everything different that you may see in the game is happening for all of us live on the normal servers. Depending on when you watch the video, there will be a lot of changes, hopefully positive. This is the spec for the Marauder and Sentinel that is going through the most and the very serious changes. It's not a complete overhaul, but there will be 2 new abilities for the advanced classes, and there will be a lot of passives removed, switched, alterated. There will be a lot of new terms and procs and so on. Let's start one by one. First of all, this would be the overview screen from the discipline. It doesn't look exactly like this in the game, but that's what we have here on the calculator. For Fury, we have 4 new abilities. At level 10, we get Raging Burst. Blast the enemy target with powerful burst of force energy, dealing kinetic damage. This is very similar to Smash, but it doesn't share a cooldown. It basically replaces Smash in the rotation when we have one target, or when we don't want to use AoE. It deals more damage than Smash. We're about to see when we go through the passive boosts in the discipline how much Smash has been nerfed, and yes, a lot of us are whining all day long. No, I'm not one of those. Obliterate has been a little bit alterated. It now includes the possibility to be used while immobilized, which was another extra point spent in the talent tree here on the right side. Force Crush, level 41, is absolutely the same ability, maybe a little bit different damage numbers, but remember there has been a major buff, debuff or nerf to all the DPS classes in the whole game from 3.0, so oh, what the hell, not right now. I won't be cutting that out. Furious Strike is the last ability that we will learn. It's a very powerful damaging ability. That's the highest hitting one, cooldown 9 seconds, and it costs a lot, full 5 rage. Strikes the target for weapon damage, attacks with both weapons if dual wielding. It's only a melee. Going through the discipline, again, if you don't know what the boosts, the passives from the 3 tiers on the right sides are, they're absolutely the same for all the Marauders and the Sentinels with absolutely the same buffs. And I would like to encourage you to go and watch at least the beginning of my Annihilation video to get familiar with these perks here. Starting, Raging Burst, level 10, as soon as we become Marauder. Blast the enemy target with powerful burst of force energy, dealing kinetic damage. The next one, this is a utility point, just in case you don't know. This is a passive boost. They are displayed in a different fashion with different borders. Decimate, level 12, increases the damage dealt by Smash by 40% and reduces the cooldown of Smash and Raging Burst by 3 seconds each. Another important thing to make a note of, all the boosts that previously boosted Smash now also boost the new ability Raging Burst. Shicho Form increases armor penetration by 30%. We know this skill from before and it hasn't been changed at all. 2 points for 30%. Saber Strength increases the damage you deal with saber attacks by 5%. That's an important change. The old ability used to be here and it used to increase for 2 points, 6% in total, but not all the attacks. It only increased Vicious Slash, Vicious Throw and Obliterate. So the new one is actually boosted. Dark Resonance increases the critical strike damage of all attacks by 15%. Dark Resonance in the past is absolutely the same. We just had to click 3 times on this ability to make out the same boost. Obliterate I've already explained in the overview in the beginning. The only boost I want to repeat again, that it can be used while immobilized automatically. This is integrated into the skill now. The next one is passive Battle Cry. Reduces the cooldown of Obliterate by 3 seconds, and while SWTOR form is active, Force Charge and Obliterate make your next Force Scream deal 5% more damage and generate 1 rage rather than consume rage. There is a small but important change here. They buffed the bonus from this passive that Force Scream received. It used to make the Force Scream free. Now it's not free, but it also generates 1 rage. So it's a nice boost over there. Just for comparison, that is the same skill listed over here. Rout. While SWTOR form is active, Assault, Battering Assault, Vicious Slash, Sweeping Slash, Force Scream, Vicious Throw, and Furious Strike reduce the active cooldown of Smash, Raging Burst, and Obliterate by 1 second. This is a lot of skills that reduce the cooldown, so it's a very powerful passive boost. And it's level 32, so mid-level. Dominate. Force Charge and Obliterate make your next Smash or Raging Burst use within the 20 seconds an automatic critical hit. This is the same as before. We know it from over here. We spent 2 points on it. The only difference is now the tooltip does not make a difference whether the target is an NPC or a player, because the damage from Smash has been nerfed to hell. And another thing is that Dominate now also includes a boost for Raging Burst, the single target version of Smash. This one, just in case you forgot. It's not a spammable ability, not at all. And there is another passive boost that we are going to encounter very soon down in the tree that's relating to Raging Burst and Smash, but let's go in proper order. Dominate. Next one, level 40, is Cascading Power. Increases all damage dealt by 5% for 6 seconds after dealing damage with Smash or Raging Burst. This effect cannot occur more often than every 8 seconds. This is actually the skill I was telling you about. It procs from both Smash and Raging Burst, and because they can be used one after another, since they don't share a cooldown, it would be unfair to keep this boost 6% damage increase all the time. That's why there is this last part of the description. It can only happen every 8 seconds. So you can't have the boost constantly, in other words. Force Crush at level 41 is a nice and small improvement actually, because it used to be available as early as 45. This used to be the top skill in the X Rage tree. Right over here. Everything else remains the same except for the damage numbers. But we would be fools to try and compare damage numbers here now. Destruction. While SWTOR form is active, damage dealt by Force Crush grants destruction. This is a new word, but the buff is acting the same way. Destruction increasing the damage dealt by your next Smash or Raging Burst, again, both go together, by 5%, and reducing the rage consumed by your next Smash or Raging Burst by 34%. Destruction stacks up to 3 times. Additionally, Berserk instantly grants 3 stacks of destruction when used while SWTOR form is active. Very long description. The old one used to be here. Next one is Gravity Manipulation. Obliterate and Force Crush each consume 1 less rage. Absolutely the same effect as the old skill, but the description has different wording. Cruelty. Increases the critical strike chance of Vicious Slash, Sweeping Slash, Vicious Throw, and Furious Strike by 5%, apologies. In addition, Ravage builds 1 Fury each time it deals damage to a target, even when we have Berserk active. That's important change and very beneficial for the rotation of the class. If you're misled by the icon, the one in the old tree down here is called brutality, and it has nothing to do with it. Force flagellation. I hope I read that correctly. Vicious slash and sweeping slash deal additional force energy damage. In addition, damage dealt by smash and raging burst overwhelms the target for 45 seconds. Overwhelmed target take 10% more damage from area attacks. That's a nice alteration to the old ability, which only used to add some more damage to Vicious Slash. At level 57 we get the most powerful and the most expensive ability for the whole spec. It's brand new. If you want to see the animations, I have them in my overview videos on the Sentinel and the Marauder. All the animations and the detailed description of the new skills are collected over there. But I hope you've already seen them. Furious Defense is granted at level 59, it's the last passive. While SWTOR form is active, Furious Strike grants Furious Defense, increasing your defense chance by 10% for 6 seconds. That's cool. We all like to have 5% defense, but why not get a little bit of a boost? I did not go in details over all the changes, which skill has been altered with how many percents here or there, because the changes are everywhere. One skill has been nerfed, and there is an example right here with Saber Strength. First of all, the effect is different. The new Saber Strength affects all the Saber Strikes, and it boosts them by 5%. The old one affected only a few of the abilities, and it used to boost them with 6%. There was another change also happening here. That's another 10% extra damage from area attacks attached to Force Flagellation. I want to mention again, I mentioned it in my Carnage and Combat video, Force Vigor does not exist anymore in this spec. It has been moved with exactly the same boost, if my memory serves me well, over to the Carnage and Combat 3. I have to admit, playing the Rage, or now called Fury concentration spec, has been my weakest of the 3 specs, because I ditched that for PvP many months ago, maybe 4 or 5, I can't remember. And I've never liked it too much in PvE. Every time people claim that Fury was extremely useful for fights like Draxus, second boss in Dread Fortress, or maybe Grobtok, third boss in Dread Fortress, Corruptor Zero, fourth boss in Dread Fortress, they all benefit from Rage, but for Rage to be absolutely the dominant spec, a lot of other members of the group have to play in favor of the Marauder or Sentinel. And since it's a lot of pressure, I managed to do very good numbers. If you've seen my video, I hope you agree with other specs. My personal preference goes for Carnage Combat in Draxus, and I usually play Annihilation Watchman in the third boss Grobtok. Let's not go into these kinds of details. There are a couple more things I want to briefly mention. I covered them in more details in my Carnage video. I would really like to encourage you to take a look at all my other videos, because I don't talk about the same buffs and boosts in all of them. Sometimes I go into more details about one change, the other times I skip on it because I forgot or because it's not really that much relevant. Never mind, this is a buff I wanted to show you. Enraged Slash, it's a passive and it affects a whole bunch of abilities which refund 1 rage when used. In addition, Battering Assault, which is our main building ability, resource building ability, beats down the target for 45 seconds. The other change I want to very briefly note here, because you might not want to watch all the other videos, they are quite lengthy in total, is the Crippling Slash. Deadly Throw has been completely removed from the game, and its effect has been added to Crippling Slash with a small and funny change over here listed in this new utility. I'm not reading the description, you can read it yourself by pausing it, but basically the problem is that routing now happens only if you have the points spent in this utility, and it's only bound to a melee skill, so there is no more ranged route. There is just one last thing I want to add before I wrap up the video, There has been discussion also on the stream, let alone all of the internet. While I was making my research, it was funny reading all kinds of opinions. The discussion was about which one will be the dominating spec for AoE fights, and the answer is not straightforward and not that simple. The burst AoE spec will always be Rage, or now called Fury Concentration. It has all of the potential. Carnage and Combat have also been boosted with sweeping slash passives, of which I talked about in the Carnage video. But the new way of dot managing can help the Annihilation and Watchman players improve a lot their AoE effectiveness. Granted, dots, take for long times and they need time to start working, and players need to apply them one by one in some cases. Again, watch the Annihilation overview if you want to learn how the dots work. But just in general, for some specific fights, and I'm thinking here Bestia from the Dread Palace maybe, dots may actually help the left three for the Marauder and Sentinel, or the first discipline, become a lot more powerful in AoE situations. It's not gonna be anymore the specific single target. The developers are aiming for this exactly. Not forcing the players to switch gear all the time when they want to switch disciplines, and make the three disciplines viable and useful for all kinds of encounters, and only force the player to switch from one to another if they don't like the playstyle. Now, that's stupid. We know it's never gonna happen, and if we all want to call ourselves true endgame players and endgame raiders or hardcore PvPers, we have to learn all of them, and we will learn all of them. This was my attempt to make a decent overview of the new third discipline called Fury for the Marauder and Concentration for the Sentinel. I know I've used only the Marauder terms, but I hope you forgive me. It takes a lot of time to go for two similar videos explaining the same things twice. I hope you enjoyed it. If I missed something, if I was wrong with something, if you want to add something, if you want to ask something, please use the comments down below. I will see you with the next Star Wars: The Old Republic video on my channel. Bye bye.